So, welcome to the VIP check-in process. Can you guys see screen okay?
Yep.
Perfect. I always want to make sure technology can be fun sometimes. So this VIP check-in process, what we are going to talk about is the VIP overview, what it means to your business, what it means to Big O, and about how long it'll take. The VIP check-in tools, what a personal greeting is, gathering the vital information, the vehicle walk-around, as well as the VIP check-in review at the end, just to make sure we incorporate with some Q&A. All right, so VIP check-in process. It is vital, absolutely vital to your success. It's vital to the image of the Big O Tires brand, and it doesn't take very long to complete, only about 3 minutes. The biggest thing about the VIP check-in process, and I think we've kind of gotten away from the actual reason to do it. And the whole point of the VIP check-in process is to build trust with the customer. Now you can see here on the slide, it says gather important information. Yes, we're going to get important information off the vehicle, but there's more important information that we can gather from the customer themselves. Build that rapport, break down that customer's buying resistance, build a friend. That way they keep coming back and we become the team they trust. That is the whole point. Now, we do need a few tools in order to complete the check-in process. So make sure you have these tools with you, including tire tool pouch, air pressure gauge. That went really quick. Pen, something to write on, tread depth gauge, and some tire chalk. Cool thing is these tool pouches, I found some available. They don't have the Big O tires etched on them, but I believe Myers Tire Supply had some available, just black plain ones, or just make sure you carry the tools with you and something to write on. This pad here, I really like because it's easy to read. You can get it in different sizes. You can find the copy of it on the Business Center under resources. You can get it in full sheet, half sheet. I know there's some Big O's out there that utilize the vehicle inspection sheet as their initial contact form or their VIP sheet, slightly modified in order to get all the customers' information. But there is a few things on here. What was that, Mike?
Where can we get the logo ones now? Are they still available from anywhere?
They're not available anymore. Okay. But the cool thing is, through our marketing department, you can get a logo and find a stitcher that could probably stitch it onto them. Or you might be able to contact Michelle. She might be able to get some. I don't know. Let me contact her and I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Because I think that would be cool for them to say Big O Tires. We used to have them.
Yeah, just like the picture.
Anybody remember them? Anybody remember when we had them?
If I was in the home office, I would hold one up and show it.
Right? All right. So let's talk about the customer greeting. Okay. Whole point here, and really step one in a 5 steps to a sale is building rapport before you start selling. Ideally, greet the customer at the vehicle. This allows for a little more comfortable area. There's not a whole bunch of people around. The way I usually put it, the sales floor is exactly that. It's a sales floor inside at the computers. That's where selling happens. And oddly enough, people don't like to be sold to. Outside, on the other hand, is neutral ground, neutral territory, where we can have conversations. We can get to know each other. It doesn't take very long, but make sure you build that rapport before you start selling. Make that personal connection. So how do we do that? How do we build rapport and trust? Well, you got to find common interests. Look for those topics of discussion to create that connection. Some things might include this guy. What kind of things could you say about this guy? Well, I know me
Loves the
being
donkeys.
yeah, being a Broncos fan, that'd be definitely some conversations to have. As others, I know that there's other football teams that, and other sports teams, right? But the whole point here is the logos, right? You can talk about the logos, even the eyewear that he's wearing. What brand is that? They look pretty slick, pretty cool. Where'd you get them? Are they prescription? Whole bunch of things. Or maybe people like this, the logos on ball caps, like that middle one. I have no idea what brand that is. That might be a topic of discussion. What brand is that? What do they deal in? Or NYPD. Hey, I back the blue. What about you? Right? And the lady on the right, Cubs fan. I'm not a Cubs fan, but I like baseball. Different things you can talk about before you start selling and building that rapport. Or this gentleman here. He's wearing a company uniform shirt. Could be an opportunity for fleet or his personal vehicle, depending on which one he brings in. If he brings in the fleet vehicle, he has a personal vehicle at home. If he brings in a personal vehicle, let's talk about that fleet. Who do I get in contact with? How can I build this rapport with your company? Maybe it's a wristwatch. I like talking about my watch, right? Maybe it's bumper stickers, like this truck here, or an elementary school or a middle school. Maybe it's a band bumper sticker. And always trailer hitches as well. Trailer hitches are a great thing to talk about because now you can figure out what they use the vehicle for. You can actually talk about different things on the vehicle. And as we all know, child seats. Everybody loves talking about their children. How many children do you have? Where do they go? Build that rapport. So as you're building that rapport, write it down. As much of a bear trap of a mind you might have, write it down. Use that information for later. This form's also good for doing a visual preliminary inspection on the vehicle. This form, while you're walking around the vehicle, can CYA, cover your assets. So to start, let's start at the license plate. A license plate is not just the number one. To continue on with the ticket, get the full license plate. Nice thing is the license plate can typically show us the VIN number as well. Highly valuable for doing some of the services we do. Next up, you'll want to get into the vehicle. Ask the customer for their keys. Start the vehicle. Record the mileage. Check all those Christmas tree lights that may come on. And then have a conversation with the customer. Hey, how long has these lights been on? Look up at that oil change sticker. When's the last time they had an oil change done? And you all know how many people have no idea that we do oil changes, yet we've been doing them for decades now. And they still don't know. What a great conversation to have. Ask if they noticed any of those warning lights. Ask follow-up questions. The key here, keep that customer involved and write it down. Write it all down. Okay? So, document all the findings, and then before getting out of the vehicle, turn that steering wheel all the way, preferably to the left, but you can turn it all the way to the right too. The whole point of turning that steering wheel all the way to one way or the other is so you can get that full profile view on the tire. Otherwise, you'll be looking through the fender, which doesn't provide really good visuals for the customer. All right, so let's get to the vehicle walk around. All your vehicle walk around should start at the driver door jamb. Get that driver door jamb tag. Record it onto your paperwork, the original tire size. Compare it with the tires on the vehicle. One of the big things nowadays is that load index and the speed rating. Make sure you are matching them up. Even if the vehicle's tires currently on the vehicle don't match the load index, that falls on us to make sure they're right. We are the experts. Make sure you're comparing that. Then you can move to the left front tire. Document any vehicle damage that you might see.
¿Cuándo hace eso? Okay. Sí, voy a checar. Hello?
Hello. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm trying to log into a webinar. That's what I'm trying to do.
You're
Okay.
on it. Success.
Oh, okay, thanks. Sorry.
Good job.
Yeah,
Sorry.
don't mind, you're on.
That may be a good time to remind everybody, if you are in a store, don't put us on hold if you're on by phone and you're in a store, please.
Yeah.
You got it. Okay, I'm listening.
All right. So, document any vehicle damage. CYA again, cover your assets. Point out these items to the customer if you do see them. Now, I don't mean point it out as in, oh my goodness, there's a dent there. Now you know that I know that you know that we didn't put that dent there. Maybe you ask a simple question. Hey, I noticed this dent here. What's the story behind it? Or maybe some other way to make it more friendly. This avoids misunderstandings with the customer. We all know that customer that came back in and said, you dented my vehicle. Actually, I have a story about that. Customer came in with a big old dent on the passenger side front fender, and it was dented in and yellow paint all over on the inside of it. And they said we did. Problem was, our poles were red. Made it pretty simple. But it wasn't there when we did the VIP process. So, turns out they did it down the street, but that's okay. At the left front tire, look for wheel lock keys. Wheel lock keys is a great conversation to have with the customer. In addition, if you can have the customer find the wheel lock key for you, now the tire technicians don't have to dig around in a customer's vehicle and spend the time of the vehicle being in the bay. They can just get to work. What a great time saver. Record the tire size, service description, including the load index and performance metrics. Look for visual tire damage or irregular wear. Document the findings. Document the findings. I can't say that enough. Document your findings. In addition, notice how in this picture, our sales representative is crouched down next to the tire, not in front of it. He's keeping the customer engaged. He's talking to her about it. What a great way to build rapport and educate our customers on what we actually do. Building trust builds customer confidence. As soon as you stand up, you can look at the wiper blades. Look, you're already there. That builds efficiency. If you don't have to keep walking around the vehicle 18 times, you'll do it in less time, which means you're not out there in the hot sun, for those of you in Arizona. You're not out there in the snow and the sleet, for those of you in Colorado. You're not out there in the humidity, for those of you that are in humid climates. So inspect the wiper blades. Look for torn, brittle cracks. Ask the customer, again, keeping them involved. Hey, how was your wiper blades the last time it rained, snowed, sleeted? Not for you guys in Arizona. I know it doesn't rain down there, but it's okay. It's a joke. It's a joke. All right. So then we're going to move around the front of the vehicle. Remember, keep looking at the vehicle for any damage that you might be able to write down and or have a conversation with the customer about. Ask purposeful questions. Again, keep that customer involved the entire time. Information gathering and this whole conversation and building rapport, you can utilize later when you're making a recommendation on what kind of tires or services this customer might need. When you get to the right front tire, again, talk about the wheel lock keys. Talk about the tread depth. Keep the customer involved. When you're moving down the right-hand side of the vehicle, 80% of our customers haven't looked at the right-hand side of their vehicle except when they're washing the car or their vehicle was just serviced. Chances are they don't know what kind of damage or other items have occurred on the passenger side of their vehicle. Make sure you point that out and document your findings. That brings us to the rear of the vehicle. All too often, we forget about that rear wiper blade. Let's make sure we're looking at it. Talk about it, point it out. See if we can get one on there if it needs it. Double check everything. And then left rear tire. Remember, always make a 360 degrees around this vehicle. All 4 tires could potentially tell a different story. So make sure you're looking at all 4. What a great time to bring up wheel alignments, especially if all 4 tires are telling a different story. And then conclude your VIP inspection by walking with the customer back to your showroom. Sometimes that's a long walk, sometimes it's a short walk, but lead the customer, walk at their pace, ask more questions, build more rapport. And what a great time to talk about our credit card and financing options. If they need assistance in paying for the new tires or services, this is a prime opportunity to plant a seed to increase sales. So as review, the VIP process is a great time to inform the customer of complimentary vehicle inspection. We're going to look at your entire vehicle, including fluids and alignment. Just make sure that it's all good to go for you, and we'll notify you of anything that we find. Introduce the financing options, including the Big O card and other financing that you might have available. All right, so make sure you're meeting the customer in the parking lot. Remember, it's a neutral territory. It allows for better conversations. If the customer happens to make it inside before you can meet them in the parking lot, that's okay. Just ask them to join you as you go out to get the vehicle information. Find those common interests or build a connection with that customer. Build that trust. Explain the check-in process. What are we doing? Keep them involved. Ask those questions. Gather the information, more important information from the customer themselves. Keep them involved and make them comfortable. What questions do you guys have about the VIP check-in process?
Hey, Ty, do we have any statistics or numbers on what that does to our sales improvement when we VIP versus not?
It's kind of difficult because the VIP tracking is not digitally capable currently. So sales wise, I know there's stories, and I have a story about it myself. When I was there in Colorado, working in Elizabeth, Colorado, and I'm talking back in 2013, February 2013, I did not want to VIP because, you know, rain, snow, sleet, cold weather, it's never pleasant. I'm sure you Colorado guys are nodding with me right now. But I made every excuse possible not to VIP customers. And I think I finished that month off with about 60,000 in sales, which was okay. The very next month, though, March 2013, I made every excuse to VIP every possible customer. I made a commitment to myself, and I found out that every reason I found the previous month not to do it was just that it was an excuse. And I VIP'd every last possible customer I could. If I could meet them in the parking lot, I did. If they managed to make it inside, I invited them back out to the vehicle. I built connections with customers, and I saw an increase in sales of a minimum of $30,000 that month.
Wow. That's reason
Now, that's a
enough to do it.
personal story. That was just me. But from then on, I believed in the VIP process. Now, every time I talk about the VIP, I tell people, do your own investigations. Track your own VIPs. If you do a VIP, keep track. Find a notebook. Get a whiteboard. And give a check mark on every customer that you VIP. See how it does for you in your store.
Great advice. Yeah, and I think, we learned, I think, statistics told us that customers were 20% more likely to be highly satisfied when they're greeted at their vehicle. I just, to your point, I don't know how we dollarize that, but we do know from being highly satisfied, which is also important to our business,
Right.
goes up by 20%.
I know many years ago, we had an outside company call customers. They called, I believe, 22,000 customers within 3 days of their visit. And they asked 8 simple questions, including, were you greeted in the parking lot? Did you walk around the vehicle with the sales associate? Did they inform you of the inspection process, and did they complete the inspection process? And we found that customers that answered yes to all 8 of those questions spent $162 more with us than customers that we didn't do it with. So, good questions. What other questions?
How do we tell? How do we tell our teammates, or how do we motivate them to because you can say that to them, but then they don't do it. So how can you pass that on to them?
That is a
If I can
phenomenal
explain
question.
myself.
And no, it's I 100% understand. So basically, you're wondering, how do we get the entire team involved, and really get it team wide as opposed to 1 or 2 people,
Correct.
or just yourself, right? I found now in Elizabeth, when I was doing this, there was only 3 of us: manager, myself, and another sales individual. That month of March, I outsold the other 2. And if your coworkers are motivated to a little competition, if you start outselling them, what do you think would happen?
Motivates.
Could very well
Todd,
motivate them.
What if, can
Yes,
we
sir.
maybe ask the group that's on your webinar here? I don't know, we probably have a collection of mostly of salespeople, I suspect, maybe some managers, assistant managers. Of those that are on the webinar that are conducting VIPs on a regular basis, why do you do it? What motivates you all to do it?
So for me personally, especially for us as salespeople, creating a relationship with people is one of the biggest ways you get business, is repeat business. Maybe they can't do all the breaks and everything now, but if you create that relationship, that's definitely going to be the gateway into getting them to come back. And as far as getting them to do it or not, in my opinion, it's not. It sounds like it's an option for them to go out there and VIP, which sounds strange to me, but that's going to be the easiest way to get caught with your pants down when someone comes in for one item and then it comes to the shop. Well, why don't we know that it's missing 4 lug nuts before it ever comes in? Why don't we know that this window doesn't work? Why don't we know this, that, or the other? And then you're just setting yourself up for a failure when you never even look at the car to begin with. And the only other alternative, if you're not actively working with a customer or a ticket, the only alternative you're doing is, I don't know, maybe looking at your phone, or so that's not productive to your work. So it's all about putting in that effort. I mean, if you put minimal effort, you're going to get minimal results. So,
And I actually agree with him. I mean, you create a relationship with the customer, and that creates business. So that's actually a good point.
So I would just not make it an option for them to be doing it. It's something that has to be done, really.
Correct.
Steve, you had something?
Yeah, so I would ask you, so in your stores, do you have either the VIP form that Ty had or something that you use standardly?
Yeah, so we have that VIP form. We have the inspection sheet and the VIP form. And the big ones is obviously getting the tread depth on all the tires that we do, grabbing the OE tire size and current tire size, and then just marking any damage that we might see.
Yeah, and I was more directing that to the guy who was having trouble getting his team to it.
And
Do you guys use a
just want to
form?
call out, this is what's sitting in front of, what's your name?
Robert,
Robert, what store?
621 Thornton.
Thornton store. I just picked this off the table. He came and sit on a table in front of him. So I have no doubt he's doing VIPs every time.
Right. Tread depth gauge. Brought it with him. So for the forcing people to do it as a TBC employee, I can't tell you to do it. But
He's saying to
I
do
know
it.
based on my experience, it is highly worth it to do it. Does it sometimes stink? Yes. You're out there in the weather, but it is CYA, as we talked about, right? Cover your assets. It
Right.
is building that relationship for those future sales. And it builds on itself.
Makes sense.
All right. What other questions? Great questions. Great conversation. I love it. What else do we have?
Anybody have a success story about VIPing?
So I mean, our two stores in Kansas we standardized a form that we incorporated into our vehicle inspection sheet. That I would say that's one key to getting people on board if you're having issues, is just have whatever the standard form is, have it standardized so that it is the same for everybody. And it just becomes part of the process, and it becomes a no-brainer. Like this is the form, this is what we fill out every time the vehicle comes in. You just standardize it. You're not asking, begging. It's just like filling out an inspection. It's just part of the process.
Got it.
And we got it. We started hitting it hard with our new form that we incorporated with the vehicle inspection sheet, probably in March or April. And our stores have seen significant increases from that, both locations.
All right. All right. Was there anybody that I did not get attendance from?
This is Preston at Safford 4224. I don't know if you heard me or not, Ty.
I did not, Preston, but thank you very much.
Good seeing you, guy.
Likewise.
This is Sue from 28890. I don't know if you saw that I was on here or not. I'm on the phone. I couldn't get the link to work.
That's all right. I've got you now, Sue. And I noticed, Sue, did you sign up through today's class? Yes.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. How was that? Was that pretty easy besides the link not working?
Yeah, besides the link not working, it was great.
Whoa. All right.
I was going through the car wash.
Right. I'll work with Sue. I'll work with today's class on seeing why that link's not working, but it's a new thing, so it's still kind of experimental, but we'll work on it.
Yeah, it could be operator error, as they say too.
Speaking of new things on today's class, for those of you that have road force balancers, we just added Hunter's 3 training courses on road force balancers and balancing in the Hunter community on today's class. So that's hot off the presses.
Awesome.
Hey, Ty, I got a real quick question for everybody. This is Preston. How many of you guys are out there currently using any form of a DVI inspection?
We've tried. We've never found a platform that worked for us.
We have several in Colorado, none in the room here today, but we have several in Colorado that are using Auto Vitals. The vast majority use Auto Vitals with pretty good success.
Does it integrate with the database at all with Navix?
No, it does not integrate, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, we are just currently, we've been using My Shop Manager for our communication, but it was causing errors with Navix. It's like we're going to be stuck with Navix for probably forever. But anyway, we're using AutoFlow, and it has a combined texting program with a DVI, and having pretty good success with it so far. And it
Yeah.
will pull off your database like My Shop Manager does.
All right.
So I have a question.
Yes.
On my name it says unverified. Does that mean that you haven't got me in here?
No, that just means that you are not part of TBC employees.
Okay.
And yeah. It's all right, Eddie. Eddie, did I get your attendance?
I don't think so.
All right, Eddie, what store are you?
044098.
044098. All right. Perfect. Thank you. Standardized inspection form. Is this a custom form created by the Kansas store? Yeah, so Steve, that was kind of directed towards you. You guys utilize a inspection form as your VIP form, and it's standardized. Is that just for your Kansas City stores?
We our manager developed the form, so we had a different kind of inspection sheet than maybe the standard one, but it's a map, red, yellow, green, that we kind of custom created. That he just, added some things that he wanted to see on it. And then we decided it'd be a great idea to incorporate the VIP into it. So if you look at our inspection form, the top left is an area for the sales associate to do the VIP. And then the rest of it is our standard inspection form, so that there's one form between the VIP and inspection following that car the whole way through. So all the information is centralized.
Ty, that was me. Yes, that is exactly what I was wondering. If the VIP and the inspection for the mechanic is all in one form.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Would you mind sharing?
Yeah. So it's Ty Sorensen. Yeah. So yeah. No, they're just about done. They're just asking questions. So
Yes.
I wouldn't. I don't know. What would be the best way to do like an example of what ours is, Ty? Should I email it to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could email it out
me,
to whoever wants it.
and I can email it out to whoever wants it. My email address is T as in Tango, or my first name, and then my last name, which is there on the screen, SORENSEN.
Mm-hmm.
So T Sorensen at tbccorp.com.
Got it. I'll do it after
For those
we
of
get
you
off.
on the phone, if you want my email address, I'll say it again for you. It's T Sorensen, SORENSEN at tbccorp.com. All right. There's a couple names on here that I don't know if I got you guys attendance wise.